And we're on.
All right. This is Sailing Toward Osiris. This is the newest game from Daily Magic Games. It is a worker placement resource management game for 2 to 5 players that plays in about an hour. The way we have the board set up here is for a 3-player game. So yellow is not a player. These are covered. These yellow monuments are there to make the game tighter at every player count. So this is set up for 3-player. If we were playing 2-player, we would also cover these little scarab spaces.
Okay.
So the game progresses through 4 rounds. Each round consists of multiple actions. We just take 1 action at a time until everybody passes. And once everybody passes, we move the barge to the next cataract to show that round is passed. So the idea behind the game is we're all governors in ancient Egypt.
Okay.
The pharaoh has died, and his barge is sailing down the Nile one last time toward Osiris.
Oh, okay.
So this is set up as if we were in the 2nd round of the game. So you can take a number of actions. One action might be to collect resources. You'll notice the workers that gather resources don't have the same colors as the players. They have the same colors as the resources. Okay. So this guy can only collect clay. This one can only collect stone. This one can only collect grain. So because they are, so this clay worker, because he's a basic worker, he has to be placed where the barge is or behind it. Okay. So I can place him here where there is 4 clay, this big clay pit, and I can get 4 clay. Now I know this kind of looks like 2 spaces, but I'll explain why that is in a second. Okay. So that guy goes there. Second player says, well, I'm going to get some clay too, and I have a basic clay worker. Has to be placed behind the barge. But because in the first round, players placed monuments in these clay pits, he can only get 2. So every time you build a monument in this game, which is the only way you get victory points, you are restricting the availability of resources. Oh, wow. So the game just keeps tightening down as you play it. So you gather resources, spend them to build. Building a monument is a 2-part process. You discard the resources, and then you place the monument there to show that you are using that schematic. Nobody else can use that one but you. And then later you take an action to place it on the board. And it has to be placed in one of these legal spots. This tells you where it can be placed. And again, you're using up resource spots. If I build it in view of the pharaoh's barge in this section, I get 1 extra victory point. So it'd be 4 plus 1, I would get 5. But it also means I'm restricting that resource earlier in the game. Right. I could choose to build it out here, so I don't have to worry about the resource restriction until later. Okay. Okay. So you're making those choices. The consistent choices in the game are whatever you decide to do now will alter or restrict your choices down the road. Okay. So the game just keeps getting tighter, keeps getting you have fewer options because you decided to do a thing earlier, or one of the other players decided to do a thing earlier, and now those options are restricted. Yeah, I'll tell you right now, first thing I can see is these components and everything look gorgeous. The board looks beautiful. Thank you. So I appreciate your time, and this has been Scott with the Board Games Maelstrom, taking a look at Sailing Toward Osiris.